This is the end of the beginning. Welcome to today's show. Over the years, even though I'm a new YouTuber, I have warned, at least to my friends, in the streets, about the After School Satan Club, what its purpose was, what all of the Satanic's purpose is, really, which is to remove religious freedoms and religious rights, and of course, to oppress Christianity, get Bibles removed from libraries, get Bibles banned pretty much in general. And of course, they play the role of we care about human rights, we care about women's rights, we care about gay rights. So everybody seems to love the Satanic Temple, even though they have and all the Satanists, really. Obviously, all the Satanists. Even though they admit they don't worship Satan, but they use the Baphomet. They admit they don't have anything to do with the devil, yet they use the pentagram and all sorts of things you see in occult worship and rituals. But, we're all supposed to believe it because, again, we were all born yesterday. But now this is very interesting because the Satanic Temple came out and they said, we're starting the After School Satan Club in schools where there's after school Bible clubs. So what happened was a lot of parents went crazy about it, which is what the Satanists want. They win either way, right? So they said the option is you either let us in or we'll sue. So some of the schools districts said, okay, sue us. So they actually went through and sued because, of course, they don't have to pay for lawyers. The CIA pays for the lawyers for the Satanic Temple. They sue everybody. They're sue crazy, right? Everybody works pro bono, wink, wink, aka they have the best lawyers in the world because the government supplies them for them. So the school districts let them sue, and then eventually they say, well, if it's either one or the other, or it's either both or none. So if you're going to let the Bible be there, you have to let the Satanists be there. It's part of, it's part of our rule here in America. And they say, I don't know what we should do. We got to either get rid of the Bible. So it's a win-win for the Satanists, right? Get rid of the Bible after school, and they win because they want it removed anyway. Or we let them in and they can indoctrinate your kids and just tell you that they're playing tiddlywinks and having cupcake, bake-offs inside of the school. They just lie because that's what the devil does and his minions. So they eventually let them in, right? So originally, just like a certain group of people who said all they want to do is get married, and now all they want to do is oil up your kids and grind and do twerks in front of them. Well, these people, the Satanists, instead of just, hey, we're only going into schools that have after-school Bible programs. Well, now, even though there's no after-school summer Bible programs, the Satanists have decided we're going to stay all year, right? We're already here, right? The people with the Bible, they went home on summer vacation, but we'll stay here and indoctrinate your kids with after-school summer Satan Club. Take a look.
This afternoon, the After School Satan Club held its first ever summer club at the Broome County Public Library. Our Shabelle Acevedo spoke with the campaign director to learn more about what the club is all about.
Satan's not an evil guy. He wants you to learn and question why. He wants you to have fun and be yourself. And by the way, there is no hell.
This has been a widely controversial topic in the area after announcement slips were sent home with students at Homer Brink Elementary back in February. The club was able to meet for the first time in the Southern Tier in May, and many parents expressed interest in their kids attending the club, so they launched the first After-School Satan Club Summer Club at the Broome County Public Library.
They asked the library if they could use the space, and it was approved right away. So they have 5 dates that they're planning on using the library, and today was the first date, and it went really well.
At the club, kids made cat scratch pads out of recycled material. Everett says what goes on in the club is all inspired by the 7 tenets, which are their religious beliefs.
So the summer program is basically exactly what they're doing for the after-school program. I envision each summer club being unique, pretty much catered to what our volunteers want to do and what the kiddos that come to the club want to do.
Josiah Bartram, the director of the Broome County Public Library, says they are careful to follow the First Amendment and do not want to intrude in anyone's freedom of speech.
Our meeting rooms are available for any nonprofit to book, and that's what happened with the Satanic Temple. This is not a library program, and as with any nonprofit that books our rooms, we're not in any way endorsing them. It's just they're a legitimate nonprofit, and like anybody else, they're welcome to book our rooms, and that extends to anyone.
Both Everett and Bartram say they have not heard anything negative about this around the community or through social media. In Binghamton, Shabelle Acevedo, 12 News.
Everett says that they hope that they are able to bring the After School Satan Club to more areas around the southern tier this fall.
So this is how it starts, right? First, it's the same thing as I said earlier. A certain group who just wanted to be able to get married. They granted that. And now look what it's turned into, right? They really want to be able to walk into your home. They want to be able to castrate your kids, right? Well, now we have the Satanists who just wanted equal opportunity to be able to go to the school. Well, as long as the Bible's there, we're going to be there. And now the Bible that's not there in the summer, the Satanists are staying. And what's next a year from now, right? Well, we're going to just perform a ritual in school. What's a ritual? We're going to have a doll. We're just going to do like a fake ritual, like a movie scene. We're going to use a doll and we're going to sacrifice the doll. And everyone's going to go, is it a doll? Yeah, it's a doll. What's it a doll? Well, it's a baby. Oh, all right. Well, it's a doll. Everyone's just playing dress up and make believe. It's like playing Harry Potter, right? Yeah, huh? Okay. And then a year after that, they're going to say, well, we're going to do it with this young child that was aborted. Oh, well, it's already dead, right? Okay. Yeah, all right. Why not? I mean, what's the big deal, right? I mean, we dissect frogs in school. And then a year after that, they're just going to say, hey, we're going to take one of the kids from the class and we're going to do the ritual on them. And they're going to go, okay, sure thing. I'm busy on my phone playing Farmville. There's no such thing as Satanism. Hold on, my ringtone is When You Wish Upon a Star, and my wallpaper is of Disney World, but there's no such thing as magic. I only have Harry Potter posters in my room, but there's no such thing as magic and sorcery and witchcraft and Satan. That's what we're living amongst. So on Friday, June 30th, the After School Satan Club launched its first summer club at the Brome County Public Library, ladies and gentlemen. The club was able to meet for the first time in the Southern Tier in May. And again, I've covered these stories about sympathy, right? Remember the song, Sympathy for the Devil? Well, they've used mind control to give sympathy to Satan. So characters in movies are now portrayed as Satanists are the victims. And now we're seeing Satanists in the real world portrayed as victims. I covered even another YouTuber covered a couple months ago, how the After School Satan Club got into a school and all of a sudden Christian parents were calling in bomb threats, right? How convenient. Oh, the Christians are the hypocrites. They're the bad ones. Look at them. They're calling, well, they didn't call in anything. The CIA called them in. I mean, this is all psychological fake warfare going on that they do on everyone's brains. Got to make Christians into the villains, and that's what they're doing, right? So there have been shows and movies over the years that have done this. And this is how we've gotten to this point where they're allowing Satanists to get in there. And then on top of that, because you would think most of the kids would be turned off by this, and you'd think their parents wouldn't be in on it, but the parents are busy watching Stranger Things. And what do they see on there? Oh, they see one of the most popular characters according to folklore here in this country, who goes by the name of Eddie something on the show Stranger Things, who's in the Hellfire Club playing Dungeons and Dragons, and was wrongfully accused by the Christians of being the one that killed off the kids. And he was the victim the entire show, and then he was the hero, of course. He died to save the children from the whatever it is, the Nefernog or whatever, which is based on Dungeons & Dragons anyway. So this is how you plant seeds. So the parents are like, oh man, they're playing Dungeons & Dragons in the After School Satan Club. That's great. We played Dungeons & Dragons, and Eddie played it, and you know what? I'm going to let my kid in because they're more open and accepting than the church, and it continues to go that way. And that's how it slowly seeps into our schools, which is already there. I mean, no Christians should really have their kids in the school system at this point. And that, I'm not saying that just based on all the stuff we've seen with the groping in the libraries and all that, this insane stuff that they're on, and the doctrine that they now do, the woke doctrine. But that's even based on when I went to school, because we were taught nothing that was useful. We were taught a history of lies. We had to be sympathetic towards a certain group. We got told over and over and over again over the years. We got told all these fake things about history, right? And we got it told to us over and over again. So our whole perception of reality was beaten into our heads without us ever seeing it. We just read about it and heard about it. And we believed in all the reasons for these wars and all the bad people, who's bad and who's good, and on and on and on. But at the end of the day, we learned nothing of value. We have no trades, right? Did anybody learn in elementary, middle school, high school, or college how to farm, unless you went specifically for that? Did anybody learn how to do anything worthwhile with their hands or anything that would be considered a trade? No, they did not. Anything they could barter? No, they did not. What they learned? Oh, communications. Oh, great. What did that get you? Oh, business. What did that get you? And I'm not saying that making fun of anyone out there. I went to college. I have had a major, absolutely useless, total waste of my life and waste of time. But at the time, that was the way the system was going, and everyone was forced in. Parents forced their kids in. And if you felt like if you didn't go, well, you were never going to make it in society until you woke up and realized, wait a minute, I graduated and now there's no jobs for me anywhere. How do I get a job? They didn't tell me that in college. They just told me the major. How do you get a job? How do you even make a resume? Oh, they don't tell you that stuff, right? So the school system in general is just a gigantic waste, but now we see them openly bringing this stuff into the schools and telling parents out there that it's okay, that it's equal opportunity. They don't tell them about the rituals that are performed. They don't tell them about anything with the history of Satanism or the occult because they pretend that it's all make-believe. And they use things that the CIA created, like satanic panic, to make them immediately disregard people like me. Oh, he's a crazy Christian. Oh, satanic panic. Oh, right. What's it going to take? You actually seeing the ritual in front of your own eyes? Yeah? Is that what it's going to take? You want to actually read the books that these people read? Is that not enough? Is that not enough evidence for you? Right? Because they'll say, oh, what about the West Memphis 3? Didn't they have all Aleister Crowley's books? Oh, yeah, they did. They even had a blood contract. Yeah, but they didn't do it, right? The HBO documentary said that the father did it, and those kids were innocent. Oh, how convenient that was the narrative. Because we've seen Satanists, this other YouTuber covered over the years, constantly getting let out of prison on wrongful satanic charges. It's all made up in everyone's head. All these kids who were 5 years old, pre-social media, by the way, with McMartin and all these other cases, pre-social media, all these 5-year-olds conjured together, and they all came up with this plan so that they could get money, because they know what money is at 5 years old, and they know what sex is too. So they all got together, they came up with this plan about how they make all these stories up about human sacrifice, because they know about that too, right? Right. And of course, that's the story the media tells you to cover it up, because kids are getting together scheming like that about money, coming up with these ideas about sacrifice, all of it. But then again, of course, they use the mindset of saying, well, they see it in the movie, so they think it's real. Well, actually, all the stuff they reveal to us in the movies is real, is the plan, right? That's why they do the same plots over and over. They're pretty much desensitizing you and telling you what's coming. And everything that we're told is real on the news is completely fake, completely fabricated. Half these people aren't even alive that we see talking to us from the White House. I mean, have them on alive, let alone a green screen, or let alone a clone, or let alone anything else that everyone seems to think is a conspiracy, even though our government's told us they have the ability to do all those things. They have the ability to clone, they have the ability to this. Oh, but they'd never do that. Why would they ever do that? They don't want world domination. That's just a common underlying theme in everything in this country. But, ladies and gentlemen, it starts here. It starts with it started, I should say, with After School Satan. Now it spreads to summer. Now it spreads to what's next semester, right? The fall's upon the horizon. The Samhain, whatever you want to call it, is on the horizon here, right? We know rituals will be all over the place, and they want to get into more schools just in time for the fall, right? But this is the problem, which I talked about when day one of the start, and everyone said, this is never going to happen. It's never going to go through. So many people messaged me at the time. I didn't have that many subscribers then. Obviously, I don't have any now, but compared to what I once had. But people messaged me. I read the message. I talked to people. They're like, it's never going to go through. It's a publicity stunt. It's a publicity stunt. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a desensitizing thing, just like Town Hall. The Satanists went to Town Hall, and they said, Hail Satan. And they said, oh, that's a publicity stunt. And then it went to another town hall and another. Just like now they're going to this school, to that school, to another school, right? And suddenly what happens? People look at it and they go, well, they didn't do anything in the school. All the people that come out of the classes say it's wonderful. All the parents are raving about it. Even the parents are signing up now. Oh, so our school should get it. We could be hip and cool. Let's go and get it, even though they're nothing but dorks. All of them, rejected dorks. That's what they'll do. And they'll tell everybody, look, sacrifice these crazy YouTubers, conspiracies. They didn't happen. Well, no one's saying they're going to happen right in the school, okay? I mean, do you think they're going to do the ritual, these rituals at the White House right on television? I mean, they do them at the White House, but it's not going to be right in front of the media, the fake media, on national TV live. Of course they're not going to do it in the school. They have to play this role. They're liars. They play the role of, we don't worship the devil. We only, our logo is the devil, but we don't worship him. We only say Hail Satan, but we don't believe in him. Mm-hmm. Right. So what do? What do you mean, Mr. What's my name? End of the beginning? What are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is they start indoctrinating kids. And all Satanists who have left Satanism have talked about gateways into the occult. Dungeons and Dragons is one of them. Movies is another way. Magic cards is another way. So they start with things like that in school, and the kids get excited. And then the supervisor, which the one you saw in the video there, with the long, the long aardvark nose, who looked like, that person looked like they were well hung, if you catch my drift. That person was talking about how they want to be in more schools. And that's the type of person that'll tell the kids, hey, you want to learn more? There's more cool stuff. We have groups. I'm in a group because I'm an adult outside of here where we do this type of stuff, but we do it, more deeper. And we could teach you just little things like you could do prayers and meditate, wink, wink, because they're not prayers. And you could, all good fortunes will come to you. Oh, really? And we could do astrology. Oh, so then instead of going to school, the kid graduates school and he's not allowed to go to after school Satan because he's not old. He's too old. He's like, hey, teacher, can I come to this thing? I miss it. Oh, of course you can. Of course you can. Sunday at midnight in the basement of the church. That's usually where they do them, right? Or, out in the woods. Oh, you mean in the Mason Lodge, that weird lodge with that G compass symbol? What are they? Don't worry about it. Come on over. Oh, and then they just continue to get indoctrinated. These people don't think in society. They don't think about anything. They literally hear this stuff and they're like, okay, let's see what's going on in the after school Satan program. Oh, okay, they're just playing Dungeons and Dragons. Well, that's like in that show Stranger Things. That's not a big deal. I guess I was wrong about it. I guess it's not a big deal for the kids to go to that. Oh, right. They don't think deeper than that. Surface level thinking. They don't say, they're making close bonds with the teachers in here who aren't really teachers. They're high priestesses and witches. Interesting. Okay. And they come home and they're like, Mommy, I love teacher. The teacher gave me a bracelet, a red ribbon bracelet. Wink, wink. All right, for good luck. Oh, that's great. You guys really have a bond. I'm going to miss her when it's over at the end of the year and I go on to high school. Well, maybe you can get her. Of course you can get my number when you leave. We'll stay in touch. All of us will stay in touch. Oh, then they get in touch and they say, hey, we're having the same type of thing on the weekends. Do you want to come? Yeah, I want to come. I miss you. And I'm a freshman in high school, so I'm very vulnerable right now because it's all new to me and there's bullies. I'm going to turn to the after school program of love and acceptance. Oh, okay, come on over. We'll teach you about, some of our rituals. And a year or two from now, well, you'll be so indoctrinated, you'll sacrifice someone. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. So the Satanists continue to get victimized in society, promoted in society, while people like me get censored, shut down, and turned off. But I will not turn off, nor will I shut down, nor will I shut up. And that's why it's a reminder for you to subscribe to my other channel below, because as much as they'll try to censor me, I will not go anywhere. I will not leave. And people say, well, can't you take a hint? No, that's not a hint. A hint would be if nobody wanted to see my content. And they do. And they have for years and years and years. Just unfortunately, when it happens to you 50 times, you end up losing a lot of subs because people have lives. And I realize that people, aren't going to hear and see every video. So they're not going to know what happens. That's why I'm going to remind you every time to make sure you sub. That way we can all stay connected to one another and you don't miss out on the content. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless you and your families.